Well, Anna, that must hurt you, scratching your head a little bit at how you've come away from that empty-handed in the end.
Yeah, although we were 2-0 down, of course, at a certain point. But good comeback, although it didn't feel to me that we deserved to be 2-0 down at the moment we were. But players reacted really well. We came back to 2-2. And I think then in the end it was a very open game where both teams had their chances. They probably even more than us, which doesn't come as a complete surprise to me, knowing that we've played 2 days ago at Marseille. And for the last 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games, we mainly have to play with the same players for the players we have available. And then sometimes a few of them could be, in the end of the game, a bit tired. And I think that's what you could see today in the end as well.
Yeah, I was going to ask, was it credit to Bournemouth's perseverance in the end, or are you finding you're looking at yourselves a little bit? It also looked like you were a bit frustrated with the officials at the final whistle.
I think first of all we have to look at ourselves, and in the end of the game it was more open. Both teams were trying to score a goal. They had better opportunities than us in the last 10 minutes. And then in the end there is a long throw in, which led for them to a goal. For me, 4 minutes of added time was by far not enough. But in the end that didn't matter because they scored, although maybe we could have had then 2 or 3 minutes. But this game should not have had 4 minutes of extra time. There was one free kick that already took 2 or 3 minutes. There were VAR moments, there were substitutions. So that was what I said to them in extra time, that 4 minutes wasn't enough. But yeah, they scored in extra time.
Whilst you did find a way back to 2-2, I suppose ultimately you gave yourselves a lot to do with those 2 Bournemouth goals inside 7 minutes of that first half. How did you see that period of the game?
As difficult, because I think the moment we conceded, there wasn't a thought in my head that could happen, because I think we played a game where a lot of times our players were in very promising position, and it felt to me that it was waiting for the right moment and for the right execution and the right pass for us to score a goal. And then we conceded one, which had to do a little bit with the adjustment of a long ball, and the wind had impact on that ball. And then we went down to 10 men because of that goal, and we were down to 10 and they scored their second, and that was the only few minutes apart from the last 10 minutes I think where we had some problems with them. But the result is another loss.
So the trouble was you were a man down for that second goal, and it looked like you were doing everything you could to gesture to the players, kick the ball out, let's get him on the pitch. How do you see it now? Is it with regret? Perhaps you didn't get the player on sooner. Is it the player's responsibility to kick the ball out?
You can bring a player on sooner if the ball is not out of play. And the player was injured, Joe Gomez. The moment when he was injured, he said, I want to keep on trying, which is, I think, what most players try to do if they get a knock. But when we started playing, he said, no, it's not possible. I can't go back in. So yeah, then it is the best thing what can happen is go to 11 men as soon as possible. We had the chance because we were quite a long time in ball possession, but we kept it. And the moment we lost it, it took us a long time. We couldn't make a foul or to get the ball out of play. And then the ball went in when we were down to 10.
Just finally, there's been a lot of headlines linking Andy Robertson with a move away to Spurs. I suppose you brought him on at half-time. Says you need him.
I think I need all my players, but Robbo had to come in at half-time. In my opinion, I always knew that for Milos, another 90 minutes against a very intense Bournemouth side was not a possibility for him. So I always knew I had to bring him in, but I had already had one substitution in the first half. Then you don't have another. Then you only have 2 moments left. So I thought let's bring Robbo in at half-time to make sure that Milos stays available for the rest of the season, because there are a lot of games to be played with the players available. I have to manage that as well, because the last thing we could need right now is another injury.
Appreciate your time today. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, it's a difficult interview for Virgil van Dijk to give. Was struggling to kind of pinpoint exactly where things were going wrong. He did say, look, the referee sees it how he sees it. He gives what he gives, and we have to accept it. But he did feel he was blocked for the winning goal for Bournemouth. Did either of you spot that?
Well, he was blocked. He was fouled, but he was fouled by his own player. That's the problem. Curtis Jones, Virgil van Dijk, you can just see him here. Virgil van Dijk, Bournemouth were starting to launch balls into the box with his long throw-in by Hill. Virgil's in a decent position there. He's got Unal there, and then Senesi is another player that's with Gravenberch. But as that ball then comes in, and it's an incredible throw, you can see he gets it to a long area there. Virgil goes to attack it, but I just want to just take it back because I'll show you, if I slow it up, as he goes to win that ball now, you can see there, number 17, Curtis Jones, he just trips over him. Watch Virgil's right foot as he goes to jump. There, he catches his own man, then can't get the header. Then it all becomes about Adley. He's brilliant. Look how alive he is here. Gets the first one in, then he gets the second one. He's the only one that's alive to this situation. You know, you can see it there. He wins that first header. There's no right, he's not a big player, but he's got desire. Then he goes to the next one. Senesi does great. Obviously, it's a huge mess by Alisson there. And somehow he creeps that into the corner. Agonising for Liverpool, but for Bournemouth, pure ecstasy. And you can see it from the players, from Christie and everybody. They're running off. What a moment for them.
It was a huge moment for Bournemouth, particularly because they've come into this with one win in their last 14 in all competitions before this game. This is the kind of result that can really drive them on, isn't it?
It can certainly kickstart their form, you know, in terms of the belief that they showed from minute 0 to minute 94. This evening, I thought they had that belief, and I think if any team was going to go on and win this game, it was going to be Bournemouth. They had that chance earlier on. Evan Nilsson, you know, just sliced it wide beyond Alisson. That should have hit the back of the net, but they still believed they would get another one, and they got it. And that moment there, I think it epitomises the game. I think Hill had the opportunity to start launching the ball into the box off his long throw-ins, and I think the warning signs were there for Liverpool that something's coming. And then they end up getting their goal from a long throw-in, which was poor organisation from Liverpool's perspective. Van Dijk was the only player in Liverpool's back four who started the game who finished it. They had 3 other changes in the back line, which you could, you know, raise attention to. But the fact is, the long balls come in, they haven't dealt with it, and Bournemouth have got their reward.
Bournemouth got their reward. They take all 3 points. It's an important one in terms of the table, Jamie. They weren't in relegation danger, but maybe just having a look over their shoulder.
I'd say at this point, you're having a glance. You're not necessarily looking, but you're just glancing. Yeah. And but I said it before the show. I just think this side has too much quality, too many good players. They've got a genius of a manager who I'm such a big fan of, and they've got players of real quality. And we're going to talk to one right now, Kelly.
We are indeed. Alex Scott joins us live now from the Vitality. Alex, thanks so much for joining us. Congratulations on the win. That's some way to win a game, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's unbelievable. I think it was such a hard game, and it always is in the Premier League, whoever you're playing. And Liverpool are a top side, and, you know, they really took it to us there in the second half. And, you know, we dug deep and got that goal at the end. And I think you could see some of the faces, the manager, and obviously for all the fans as well. It was a massive moment.
I mean, the bravery to keep pushing for that winner late on in the game. Where did that come from? Is that something that's kind of built into the side? Does it come from the manager? Is that the word from the bench?
Yeah, I think you're spot on. I think we pride ourselves on that, you know, pressing non-stop until the final whistle, and, you know, we got our rewards there. Like I said, it's tough, and we've had a tough run of games, extra time at Newcastle, and there's been a lot of tough fought games, especially Brighton as well. So it's been hard, and we've had to dig in. But I think that's what this club's all about. The manager really put that into our players, and, you know, we've got to work non-stop for this manager and for these fans. So we got our reward at the end there, and it comes from us, you know, being there to the final minute.
Alex, Jamie Redknapp, congratulations, mate. Amazing win. I mean, we've just seen some of the emotion here. We can see your manager. He's normally quite mild-mannered, but he was loving that one. Big moment for you and the team. I enjoyed your performance today, and I felt, obviously, slight a tweak in the formation. Today, with you and Cookie in midfield, it made it a bit more difficult. You know, you had 2 against the 3 a lot of the time because you played, obviously, Krupa and even Nilsson. You had to... I bet your running stats were high today.
Yeah, I think they will be. You know, yeah, you're spot on it. It was really tough today. The way they set up, you know, Soboslai, McAllister, Gravenberch and Wirtz as well. There was almost 4 of them in the middle of there non-stop. And, you know, it's tough for me and Lou and obviously Krupa as well. But, you know, the way we set up as well, the centre-halves need to jump as well. But when you've got top-quality players like Wirtz and Soboslai, you never really know what they're going to do. They have that freedom to go wherever they want. And I think in the second half, it definitely worked a lot more for them. yeah, we really dug in, a good defending and good from Petro as well. So it was a tough game, but I enjoy playing with Lou in there. I know how good he is defensively. Obviously we've got Tyler as well, who's unfortunately injured, but there's so many players that can step into that role. So playing next to them and obviously Krupi as a 10, he can come up with magic non-stop. So it makes my job a lot easier when I've got Lou there and Krupi in front.
Well, it doesn't sound easy. I've just been told by our great stats guys at Sky that you ran the most today, certainly in your team. And I think that summed it up because in your midfield you had tremendous energy. I want to talk purely about you individually. You've had a great season. You broke into that England squad as well. What does that mean to you as a young player that obviously came from Bristol City? Your career's gone from strength to strength. You must be so happy you made this move.
Yeah, of course, it's been great. I really enjoy my time here. I think it's been tough. The first 2 seasons I was here, I had a lot of injuries, and it was hard to get rhythm with my game, and I wasn't playing as many minutes as obviously I wanted to. So it's been hard, and I've had to almost bide my time a little bit. But now this season, I came off winning the under-21 Euros with England, and that gave me a lot of confidence going into the season. I think since then the managers definitely trusted me. I've played the majority of the game, so yeah, obviously grateful to him and everyone at the club for giving me the chance. And yeah, I'm playing probably my best football at the minute. I got my call up at the end of last year, but it's a long way to go. I've got to keep working hard, keep playing at this level, keep performing, and yeah, fingers crossed I maybe get another call in March. You never know, but that's down to me to keep working hard and keep playing well in this division.
Alex, speaking of working hard, you had a big part to play in the opening goal, your forward running behind. Was that something that you identified pre-game, or is that just what you do because you're so good at running and beyond?
I think it's more instinct. I probably don't do it enough, to be honest. And as a number 8, it's picking when to come to feet and when to spin in behind. And I think that one there, I probably would have left it if it didn't hit me in the face and just taken the corner. But I feel like I had to do something, and thankfully Eva was there to finish it off. But I know how good Marcus is. You see here, he does that ball so many times in a game, and it's down to us forward players to be in the right position to pick the scraps up. And yeah, you see it's come off my face. I probably would have left it if it didn't and taken the corner. But yeah, happy to get an assist. I don't get enough of them, or I don't get enough goals, but I've got to try and work hard in training and get in those positions more, because I know I can definitely add that to my game.
Did the wind play a factor in the ball holding up in the air, do you think? Because it looked like...
I think so, yeah. I think, yeah, it made it more difficult for Virgil there to deal with it. I think the conditions were tough out there today. The first half we were playing into the wind, and second half with the wind. So yeah, it was tough, and like you said, yeah, I think it definitely played a part in that goal. For him, I reckon it just stopped in the air a little bit, but I was thankfully there to make something of it, and yeah, obviously happy to get the goal there early on.
It's obviously it's a win that feels good, but it's also a win that has real practical ramifications. We were talking about the table before you joined us, and saying that while Bournemouth never really looked in danger, it was maybe just in terms of results starting to get to the stage where there might have been a little bit of a cause for concern. But that's 7 points now from the last 3, and it's looking very comfortable in the table.
Yeah, and there was a point we spoke about it, we were honest about it, and we had to come to the realisation that we probably were in a bit of a relegation fight at some point. I think after maybe the Brentford game, we had a tough run of fixtures. I think Chelsea, Arsenal and Tottenham. So with those sort of fixtures, it's tough to pick up points. I think we've got through them pretty well. A point at Chelsea and beating Spurs, drawing to Brighton. So we've got some points out of those games. But yeah, I think now we're a little bit more comfortable. But the job's never done. The team's also picked up points this weekend. So there's always people fighting below us, and we've got to be on our toes and win as many games as possible.
It's been really good talking to you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, guys. Have a good evening.
Congratulations on the win as well. He talks really well about what the manager wants Bournemouth to do, what the manager asks him to do, and sort of gives us a real insight into how they set up. And apart from anything else, the mentality.
Yeah, absolutely. And purely individually, I mean, what Bournemouth do, they're brilliant at it. They recruit great players and they sell them on. Semenyo, great example. And I won't be surprised in a couple of years' time if they'll have a contingency player for someone like him. Right, where's the next one of his quality? They'll bring him in because there'll be clubs looking at him. I think from a team...
in which time Gomez wasn't on the pitch.
On the pitch. Yeah. And then they obviously end up conceding that second goal. I find it staggering in this day and age that you're going to have a situation like that. Now, we had to go through it a few times because we obviously want to give Liverpool the benefit of the doubt. Have they got an opportunity to kick it out? Have they got an opportunity? Has there been a free kick? Has the manager spoken to the players, made it to have made this a priority for everyone, because I think sometimes I don't want to just criticise the manager or the backroom staff. I think sometimes as a player you take responsibility. You realise you've got 10 men. Gravenberch has had to drop into the back four. What can we do about this? Now I'm just going to give you sort of how this unfolded. Now you can see Joe Gomez is walking off. There must be dialogue. This doctor physio will be able to talk to the staff and say, right, we've got a problem. This was one opportunity to get the ball out of play. Now, I'm watching the players here. You can see there's Arne Slot. He's probably thinking, shall I just take it back? Because nobody is actually saying, right, let's get the ball out of play. Let's get a centre-back on. We need Endo on this pitch so we can get back to 11v11. Joe Gomez isn't coming back on. They don't take this opportunity. You can see Arne Slot. He's saying, OK, maybe get the ball out of play. I don't know what he's saying, but anyway, it's not the point. Someone has to take this responsibility. That's not a quick free kick, so they give Liverpool an opportunity to get it away. Now, they're making a substitution, right? So Arne Slot is saying to his players, get this ball out of play. The guy here who's telling him, giving him instructions, do not worry about instructions right now. Just get him on the pitch. This isn't like you're making a substitution, a tactical one, where you've got 11v11 at the moment. You've got 10 men on. This is paramount importance that you get him on to level this game up, and that whenever you get an opportunity, you then change it. Get your gear off, get on the pitch, mate.
Bearing in mind that Gomez is already off the pitch with the doctor, and Endo's still got his kit on.
Just for balance, to reiterate what Virgil van Dijk said, which is they had the ball, they felt they had control of the game, and that maybe there was potentially a bit more time.
I'm not. Not when you've got 10 men. You've never got control. And the control they end up conceding a goal from it. They get another opportunity. This time, Alisson, he knows he's got Gravenberch in there. You can see the manager, bottom corner, he's telling him to kick the ball out of play. He doesn't. He decides to go the other way. You don't have control with 10 men, especially at Bournemouth. This isn't like they're just sitting back. They are on you. They're trying to win the ball back. They should have made this substitution. 7 minutes. I use the words amateurish at half-time. I think it is. It's not good enough. And that comes as a consequence because just before they make the substitution, this then happens. Now, Liverpool end up with 2 up front. You can see Salah and Wirtz. Now, I would like to see one of them drop back in. Now, I'm just going to stop it just here because now you've got your back four. You've got Gravenberch, you've got Virgil van Dijk, Szoboszlai sort of come in there, and Milos Kerkez. Now, he defends awfully for this goal. Really good bit of play. You talked about Senesi having a great bit of play as a centre-back as well. This time it's Hill. Really good. He comes forward. You can see Jimenez, that's right, Kelly, isn't it? Yeah, Jimenez is making a really good run. His body position's really wrong, Milos Kerkez. He doesn't get himself in the right position to stop this pass. Virgil van Dijk drops too deep as well. Now, you are not comfortable. You've got 11 men on. Endo might have been the other centre-back. Brilliant finish. Great piece of play from Bournemouth. But this is the other thing I want to just look at Virgil van Dijk. He then drops, just take that back a little bit. He's just sort of lead centre-back. He should be commanding that. If he pushes up 1-2 yards, gets level with Milos Kerkez, Gravenberch and Frimpong, he plays him offside. He doesn't. He drops back he almost covers himself there. You can see that at the back there, Jimenez makes a really good run. I don't like his body position one bit there, but a great pass and a really good finish. But that is not comfortable. And here, all the time, and the highlight again, there's your man there trying to get on the pitch. He should have been on 4 minutes ago, Kelly. If that happens, none of this happens. We won't even be showing this goal. Is it going to go? What's happened to it? Oh, here we go. But from Bournemouth's point of view, brilliant. Great pass from Hill. That's what you want, is centre-backs to step in and play passes like that as well, is he?
And Jimenez, who normally play right back, Iraola's asked him to play higher up in the game because that's a position where Bournemouth are struggling to field players at the moment. They've got 7 injuries out at the moment. You can see here he's on side, but he times his run to perfection. But that's so reassuring for Iraola to know that those 3 players, Evan Nielsen, Jimenez and Adley, have all got on the score sheet today, and they're all players that are playing in that forward line for Bournemouth, sort of in a makeshift fashion, but they've proven today they can do it.
Jamie, what does that result do you think, for Bournemouth? I know we talked about what it does in terms of the table, but in terms of what happens next for them, because they will have had confidence in their performances, they will have had faith in the manager who was getting absolute plaudits at the start of the season. At one stage, Bournemouth were in second place in the table. What can they do from here on in with that result?
Yeah, it's a great question. They've had 2 really good home wins now against Tottenham and obviously Liverpool, and then. It probably, you'd say on paper, a good point at Brighton, but when you're winning 1-0 with a couple of minutes to go, you want to hang on. So I think they'll be delighted. It was a good performance today, amazing effort. Andoni will know he needs players in to help him as well. They've obviously got a couple in the pipeline. They've signed one, maybe get 2 or 3 in with their good recruitment, and that will certainly help because they need a few bodies because they are running, on empty to a certain extent.
Do they look like a relatively favourable run of fixtures?
Yeah, when you look at them, you do think that, but you've got to understand Wolves obviously losing today to Manchester City. But they are starting to galvanise themselves. Yeah, Rob Edwards is starting to get momentum with the side. Obviously, Aston Villa, we know they're going to be very, very tough. But then you look at the other 4 fixtures below that and you think that if you're Bournemouth going into that game with the belief that Iraola puts into his team, that they can go there and win. And I genuinely believe Bournemouth go into every single game in this league thinking they can win because they've got a system, they've got effective players and they've got a fantastic manager.
And that manager joins us now live from the Vitality. Andoni, thank you so much for your time. We normally see you as quite a calm figure on the touchline, but you really went for it in terms of your celebrations this time. How much did you enjoy that victory?
I really enjoyed it. I think we needed this one, and also I think 10 seconds before, I asked the fourth official. He told me, "No, it's over. This play and it's over." So when you score and there is no option to receive another one, I think you enjoy it even more.
Was there any part of you at 2-2, even though you'd been 2-0 up, that was thinking just protect the point, or was it always the intent to go for the winner?
I think the goal from Van Dijk in the corner has hurt us, because you are 2-0 down, you want to prepare the second half with 2 goals, and when you concede that goal, the second half is going to be long, because they are going to push. I think we started probably playing better once we received the 2-2. We were kind of defending for me too much, and once you probably receive the 2-2, there is less things to lose, and then I think we started playing better. We had, I remember, a very clear chance from Evan Nilsson. We didn't score, but I think we've been better in the last minutes.
Andoni, Jamie Redknapp, congratulations. You tweaked it a little bit. Obviously, you play a lot of different systems, but you're a very attacking system today with obviously Evan Nilsson and Krupi almost as split strikers, which put a huge emphasis on your 2 midfield players today. I thought they were magnificent for you. They ran marathons. You must be so proud of them.
Yes, I think Alex and Lou are doing an incredible middle part of the season. I think we are being able, between everyone, to keep, as you said, Junior, Krupi, Evan Nilsson, 2 strikers in a game where Liverpool put so many players inside and you need help from everywhere. I think wingers also did a really good job, and probably not playing completely to our style. I think we are finding ways to get in points lately, managing better situations where we go a little bit higher and situations where we go a little bit deeper.
You've obviously got a great long throw-in as well in Hill. He can step in, make good passes, but this is obviously a massive part of the game. I want to show you this goal because I think it's really important and it gives you considering you haven't got the biggest side in the world, you are so alive to every second ball.
Yes, I think everyone knows, we are probably the shortest team in the league, and we are struggling in defensive set plays. We conceded today, especially Van Dijk's goal, but offensively, I think we are very lively, as you said. I think we are getting good numbers for our stature, and to score in a goal like this in the very last second of the game is always, it doesn't matter how, it's always lovely.
Andoni, congratulations on the win. The area of the pitch, I think you're suffering a lot with injuries in the wide areas, so you've had to adapt. How pleasing was it for you that the players in those positions today had a big contribution to the game?
Yes, as you said, right now, basically as a winger only we have Amin Adli, the others, I think we can adapt. Alex Jimenez, even Alex Scott today finished playing wide. I think even Alex Todd, that has been training with us a couple of days, has to help us at the end, but it's a situation that also the club knows. We will try, in this last week of the market to have some help there and also wait until Brooksy, Tavernier especially recover.
Andoni, you obviously got great recruitment in the club. Are you working hard to find the next Antoine Semenyo?
That's
not easy,
difficult. Yeah, we take, even if it's not totally 100%.
You're good at turning them into that kind of player, though.
Yes. But it's true that we need help there outside, and it's a difficult market to sign, because no one wants to lose a good player in January. But I trust the club. They've shown before that they know what they are doing, and we have to be a little bit more patient.
And only a big win today that you and the players can celebrate. It's 7 points in the last 3 games as well. Before that, it was a really difficult run for you. How hard was it to keep your nerve, to keep the players' confidence up in what they were doing and their belief in what they were doing? And how pleasing is it to get the reward now?
This is the Premier League. At the end, the matches are so small. We've played even better games than today, and in this long run, I remember 2 draws against Chelsea, 1 against United, games that we've lost. Burnley again here last second, even the other day against Brighton, stoppage time we concede, and sometimes it has to happen. It cannot always happen to the other side, no? And in this case, and especially against the Spurs, I think are 2 wins that in our situations were very needed.
Maybe balances out that late equaliser by Brighton in that game as well.
Yes, probably we were so disappointed. No, Monday night, I think we were probably deserved more than even today, or we were closer to the win than today. No, but you can celebrate it even more probably today.
Andoni, thank you so much for sparing the time to talk to us. Congratulations on the win.
Do you feel like?
Possibly, but again, that's not really, Bournemouth scored with the last kick of the game. Yes, Liverpool might have had another minute, 2 minutes to score a third, but, overall, when he analyses the game, the last thing he'll be thinking is, oh, we lost because there was not enough, injury time or added time.
No one could say they would have scored in it either.
Exactly.
Well, he just contradicted himself. He said the team were tired.
Listen, it's a little frustration. To be fair, when they put 4 minutes up, you said to me, wow, I thought it'd be more than that. So, he's got a little point, but that's not why Liverpool lost the game. They lost the game, really, in the first half, and their sloppy performance in the first half. They got back, did well to get back, but he's right. It was a very honest assessment, I thought, of the game.
It was, yeah.
And Tim said it himself. In the last 10 minutes, yes, it was open, but Bournemouth were the team having all the chances in that last 10 minutes. So just a frustrating night, having worked so hard to get back into the game.
We spoke about it with Hugo Ekitike and the potential that he felt like he needed to rest him. He kind of mentioned it there as well, didn't he, about the fact that they're having loads of games. He's probably having to rotate and not play the players that he wants to and be mindful of the schedule.
Is anyone ever listening to that? I'm sure the people around the world are not. We're talking about playing Bournemouth here, and we talked about the injury crisis, what they're in. Every Liverpool player on that bench would play in Bournemouth's first team. They're missing players also. I don't think people stop listening to you when you keep crying about injuries. It doesn't wear certainly with the opposition fans and fans around the world. Maybe the Liverpool fans might give them a little bit of a break for it, but I certainly not. The Liverpool Football Club, you spent an absolute fortune in building your squad. Yes, you've picked up injuries, but everyone's got injuries at this time of the season, and no one wants to listen to excuses. You need to start picking up results, certainly in the Premier League, because if you don't finish in the Champions League spots, your position's under pressure. They're capable, this team is capable of winning the Champions League. And the way they're going in the Premier League, they might be easier to qualify for the Champions League next year by winning the competition, which will be a fantastic season. But at the moment, there's a lot of pressure on the top of the division to finish in the Champions League spots, and Liverpool need to find some form from somewhere. Now, they might have to find form with the injuries as well. Just got to get on with it as a manager. Unfortunately, people stop listening to you. I've been there myself.
Yeah, we've just seen the table there, the fact that Liverpool are still in the Champions League spot, so we need to have some perspective. But if Manchester United get a result against Arsenal tomorrow, that could change. It's just 3 wins in their last 10 in the league. What does Arne Slot and Liverpool need to do now to kind of improve on that?
Well, the problem is when they look behind, they've got Chelsea, new manager. Who knows which way that's going to go, but if they catch fire, then they could put serious pressure on Liverpool. The team right behind them, Manchester United, if they continue playing like they did last game, well, they will put pressure on Liverpool because that was a brilliant performance. Yeah. So, all of a sudden, if they're probably looking at it thinking, who can pass us? Below that's Fulham. Fulham are not going to finish above us. That's probably what they're thinking.
Villa.
And now all of a sudden, there's a couple of teams around them that are in good form or potentially in good form. So it's a problem. Liverpool have still got it in them, still putting in some good performances, but they need to be more consistent. That's why they're not going to win the league this season.
And I'm sure they're going to be watching what happens between Arsenal and Manchester United with interest tomorrow. Thank you to Tim.